30 seconds and counting.
Hey, what's good, yo? Welcome back to another video. I'm Anish. I'm joined with Roman and Drew. And today we're going to be previewing the Texans versus Bills game. The Texans are traveling all the way to Buffalo to play against the Bills. And the Bills are 17.5 favorites. The Bills are currently 2-1 and the Texans are 1-2. But the Texans are still sitting at second in the AFC South. So we'll see how this matchup goes. So before we start, some key injuries. So Justin Reed and Cam McGregor-Hill are coming back for this game, so that's a relief. But at the same time, Zach Cunningham and Ross Blacklock are going to be out for this game. So right when we get two starters or kind of like two quality players on our team, we lose two quality players on the team. And Jimmy Moreland, the guy who we signed to play cornerback, obviously, he's also out for this game. On the Bills side, their main loss was Jordan Porter, their starting safety. So both sides are dealing with injury issues. I think us more than them, but I think the Bills are also resting up plenty of people for tomorrow's game. But Drew and Roman, what are your keys to the game?
Well, my keys to victory, the first one is definitely going to be to start fast. That's something we did not do against Carolina. I believe Davis Mills had 4 passes with a minute or so left in the first half. That was really disappointing. And Coach Coley did come out and say that they do need to do better at that. They will open up the playbook. They're not going to limit him because he's not as fast as Tyrod or he's not Tyrod Taylor. They're going to open up the playbook. They're going to play how they want to play, and Davis Mills is going to have to adjust to that. He's going to have to learn and grow. He's going to have to play better too. But I think he did show some flashes against Carolina, so I'm excited to see how he does. And then other keys to victory will be the defense. You need to stop playing so soft. You need to be more physical. There's too many times we saw against the Panthers, there's open holes. Get in your zone, play coverage correctly. You should be able to stop in the run game. Not to worry about that. We got Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders, all those guys to worry about. They're all ready to go. And after a rough showing secondary-wise against Carolina, I think the Texans defense needs to be a lot more physical. Force those turnovers that we've been talking about in the offseason. And that is the way we can win this game.
My keys to the game are to kind of just control Cole Beasley for one, and pretty much just their whole receiving core. Last week against Washington, Cole Beasley had 11 receptions for 98 yards, and I feel like that's going to be a great matchup for us. It's going to be Desmond King against Cole Beasley, and if Desmond King can kind of slow down Cole Beasley for the first half, kind of get Josh Allen to throw to the other receivers, such as Stephon Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders also went off last week against Washington. He had 5 receptions for 94 yards for 2 touchdowns. And then obviously Diggs, we all know who Diggs is. It's going to be a great match. It's going to be an important matchup for our secondary. Our secondary, I believe, is going to be Vernon Hargreaves, Tremon Smith on the outside, with Desmond King in the slot. So that's not a great matchup for us. The receivers, pretty much all of them except for maybe Cole Beasley, kind of just out. They're just all better than our corners right now. And then they're tied in also. Knox had 4 receptions, 50 yards for 1 touchdown. So our linebackers and our safeties are going to have to do a good job covering up the middle of the field, covering up the red zone. So Dawson Knox can't really get into the game. And that's one of their key guys in their offensive game plan, I believe. Dawson Knox, they try to get him involved early and obviously in the red zone due to him being a big target. And then they also like to use their running backs. Zach Moss had 3 receptions, 31 yards, and a touchdown. So again, going back to the linebackers. If our linebackers can get active early and just slow them down. For the Texans offense, I believe we can at least score around maybe 14, 17 points. So if we can at least hold the Bills to around 23, 24, it should be a very good game. But yeah.
Yeah, Josh Allen, he struggled the first 2 games of the season, but against Washington, he really went off with like 4 touchdowns, 358 yards. And the one thing I hope that we could try to do in this game is try to establish the run, at least help Davis Mills out, because The Bills, they have a really good run defense. They've really stopped the opposing team's run game. But like if we're able to get at least some consistent yardage, at least by running, that'll really open up things for Davis Mills. And I guess vice versa in that regard. If Davis Mills starts balling out, then maybe we got to see more of that run game going on. But I really hope they do open the playbook like they said. And I think Cully's been pretty honest so far in most of his press conference, either like about mistakes or what needs to improve upon. So when he says that he's going to open the playbook for Davis Mills, I really hope he stands by that. And so, yeah, that's going to be really interesting to watch. But yeah, the Bills have been pretty like destroying their last two teams. I mean, against the Dolphins, they just shut them out, blew them out 35-0, and then the Washington football team 43-21. So they're definitely a contender, a Super Bowl contender this year. So this game will be a nice litmus test to see how Davis Mills performs against one of the better teams of the NFL, and see if he has what it takes. I guess if he puts up another solid performance, then I think we can still keep giving Davis Mills a shot. And I think Tyrod Taylor, I think he might come back maybe after the Bills game. We'll have to see about that. But yeah, if Davis Mills does perform, like I don't know what y'all's expectations are, but if he can score at least 3 touchdowns, or at least get the team to score 3 touchdowns, I think that will be some kind of success. Anyways, what are y'all's score predictions for this game?
My score prediction for this game is the Bills will win 30-17. But I do think that Davis Mills has an opportunity to have a good game. I think that he's going to get 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. I see that the Bills secondary is hurting a little bit. Like you said, Jordan Poyer is out for the game. Teron Johnson practiced on Wednesday, had a little groin injury, and has not practiced since. And he's now questionable for the game. Micah Hyde was battling a quad injury last game. He was limited on Wednesday, and now he's going to play. But they definitely are battling some injuries back there. And then, of course, you got Tre'Davious White versus Brandon Cooks. It's going to be a key matchup there. So our other receivers, we're going to have to rely on them a little more. Anthony Miller, Chris Conley. I'm waiting to see Chris Conley have a good game after he had a pretty good preseason. But I like the guys we have back there. Anthony Miller. Of course, you got receiving backs, Lindsey, David Johnson. So I think Davis Mills could have a pretty good game. But he's got to have to start fast, like I mentioned earlier. But it could be a long game against this really talented Bills team.
Yeah, I have the game being 40-21, Buffalo Bills. I just don't see us being able to stop the Buffalo Bills offense. They're just too explosive. Whether we scheme up very, very well against them, their receivers is just too explosive. And then they don't even really use their running backs that much in the running game. And when they do, they're very, very dominant. So if they can get off to an early lead, maybe say like 14 or 10-0, like within the first quarter, they're just going to start running the ball, and they're just going to start chewing up the clock. And I don't really think it's going to give us enough time on offense. But for me, we have to start off really, really fast on offense. If we can at least get 3 points on the first drive, then that's going to be very important for us. Because if we don't score, Buffalo's just going to be like, hey, it's an easy game. We're just going to not really take their foot off the gas, but just start running the ball more. Not really, I guess, throwing the ball as much, just running the ball, just try to chew the clock out very, very early. But yeah, have it being 40-21.
Yeah, and I also forgot to mention that we're also getting Kaimi back for this game. We released Joe Sly, so we'll see. And now that we have more confidence on our kicker and his abilities, so we'll see if that has any impact on the game. But I think this game, a lot of people are not giving the Texans enough credit. Like the Texans, they're not as bad as everyone makes them out to be. I think a lot of these games, they're closer than the score ends up being. Like, especially with the Browns and Panthers game, we were in it until like the very, very end. So I think this game, it ends up being like a 10-point game, like going into the fourth or something like that. But then I think at the end, the Bills start to pull away slowly but surely. Either Josh Allen makes a dagger throw to Stephon Diggs or something, but yeah, I think I don't think they'll be 17. They'll be us by that 17.5 margin that's predicted by the sports book. Maybe they do, but I think it'll be like slightly under that, maybe like 2 touchdowns, but that's not saying much, anyways. But yeah, anyways, what are y'all's hot takes for this game? This is our hot take segment. So, what are y'all's hot takes for tomorrow's?
I'm going to stick with what I said earlier. Davis Mills gets 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. Maybe it's a hot take, maybe it's not a hot take. He's a rookie quarterback. We haven't seen any rookie quarterback perform at even a average level at this point. All the rookie quarterbacks have been struggling. I think this is the day that we see Davis Mills play above average. I'd say 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no turnovers. That's the most important part. No turnovers by Davis Mills will keep us in the game. We'll have a good showing. I'm excited to see him play.
Yeah, my hot take for the game is that David Johnson has 100 total yards combined with 2 touchdowns. Maybe it's 1 receiving or 1 rushing, or maybe it's like 50 yards rushing, 50 receiving. But he's gonna have 100 total yards with 2 total touchdowns. I believe it's kind of manageable if we can get into the red zone. Maybe use like a running back screen, or maybe put David Johnson on like a wheel route or something like that. Then I could really see it being having a chance at having that scoreline or stat line.
Yeah, I think our defense will be able to definitely create turnovers this game. They've been consistently creating turnovers. So I think they'll definitely make 2 turnovers this game and stop their run game to like maybe 100 yards. That's my hot take, probably. We'll see. Hopefully they don't blow us out too bad like they did to the Dolphins. But speaking about other quarterbacks, like you said, Davis Mills has arguably been like the second best rookie quarterback. You can say that Trevor Lawrence has been the best one, but other than that, it's kind of been fair game, and you can argue that that Davis Mills has been the second best, or stats can even tell you that Davis Mills has been the best, but obviously there has been no sample size to really determine that. And this game will definitely be a huge determinant deciding like how does he fare compared to the other quarterbacks. But anyways, do y'all have any final thoughts before we end the video?
Yeah, looks like Zach Cunningham's going to be out for the game, so look for a little bit of rotation for the linebacker spot. We know that Camus is back. I could see him playing the mic. Could have Joe Thomas playing the Sam, and then of course you got a bunch of other linebackers that didn't go there. And then of course in the Panthers we saw Jacob Martin and Jonathan Grenard get the start at defensive end. So look to see them get the start again. I feel like since there were younger guys, they didn't get the start against the Browns and the Jaguars, but I feel like they finally found their guys. And so look for more production again from the defensive line.
Yeah, I could kind of see maybe the secondary being a little bit like rotated. Maybe they play Lonnie Johnson a little bit, maybe at corner with Eric Murray at safety. Since Eric Murray, he really hasn't been all too bad at safety this year since Justin Reed's coming back. But yeah, I just see it being a lot of rotation due to us not really having too many active corners. I don't believe we're gonna have like maybe 3-4 corners active for tomorrow's game. But yeah, maybe like a little bit of rotation in the secondary.
And yeah, that pretty much wraps up our preview for tomorrow's game. Let us know your score predictions for tomorrow's game. Do you think the Texans have a chance? And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Thank y'all for watching.